Hello, Namaste, Sasrikal, good evening. Welcome to the S.S. Chandhok talk show. I'm your host and moderator, S.S. Chandhok. Today, again, we are here with a very, very beautiful topic, how to bridge up the learning gap of mathematics, especially in the middle schools. We have always seen that in grade 5, children, they enjoy mathematics, but when it comes to the middle school, because of the pressure from society and everywhere, they feel that mathematics is a very big thing they have to do. So how these learning gaps can be removed, the eminent guests who are present here from the different parts of the country will share their views on this topic, and we will conclude that how we can do the betterment of the children, especially from the grade 6 to 8 and 9, how can we remove their phobia of mathematics. Without taking any time, I will introduce you to the very first eminent guest. First of all, we have Charu Nani ma'am. She's the principal of DAV Public School Sector 49 program. Ma'am is a dedicated educationist, a principal of DAV Public School, Uppal Southern for Sector 49 program. Ma'am, instead of reading your profile, will come up to you. Now we have started is that, ma'am, please let us know that have you come into the profession by chance or by choice? And how did your journey start as a teacher and to a principal in such a prestigious institution?
Thank you, Mr. Sarabpreet, for calling me here, and good evening to all the eminent guests here. Yes, the first question, whether it was a chance or a choice. So it was a chance. It was a chance, but which has turned into a beautiful choice later. And I wish that if there is a next birth, then I would like to get a rebirth as a teacher, as an educationist, because it's such a beautiful feeling when you are with the students. And like today also, we had this Earth Day celebrations. It is so much of a pleasure. You forget all other things, and they are with you when you are learning with them. So a chance which has turned into a choice forever, I would say. And what was your next thing? That how I
started up your career as a teacher, and how did you rose up to different schools and came over here in this?
So it was just obviously when I did my B.Ed. With that, I had to become a teacher, and then going around with my husband to different cities was one thing. So that they say a rolling stone doesn't gather moss, isn't it? So लेकिन हम घूमते रहे और कुछ उल्टा अच्छी चीजें सीखते रहे, from one school to another, from one principal to another, from one director to another. So that's how I think I've got a rich experience of working in around 9 different organizations, because I was roaming about with my husband. So that's how.
And when did you join this school, ma'am? When did you join this school?
DAV. I started my career with DAV, in fact, way back in 1992. But then, as I said, I was moving from Indore, Satyasai Vidya Vihar, to Mumbai at Ram Niranjan Podar Institute. So I knew that wherever I'll go, I'll get a job. That was the confidence I had, and I kept on moving. Yeah.
So, ma'am, which year you came in this year in DAV?
This particular 2010.
2010, right? That's a long time. As a principal?
No. I became principal in 2017. So that way, I am a young principal.
We don't talk about the age of the ladies, ma'am. We don't do a crime. We don't do a crime over here, ma'am. For sure. Thank you so much, ma'am, and welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming. The next very eminent guest we have is Mr. A.K. Kashi Sagar, sir. He is the principal of Leeds School, Maharashtra. Welcome, sir. He has an experience of more than 2 decades. And again, we'll come up to sir. Sir, how as a male member, because males are less of as principals, like I am, you are. So we are the very odd ones in this community, principals community. So, sir, how did it came into your mind to be, and come into education? Came a chance or by choice? And please also tell us about the Leeds schools also. sir.
Yeah, definitely, Sarjeet sir. Thank you very much for calling me, inviting me here. Basically, I am a teacher by choice, though it was a second choice of mine. And why it is like, because I have a means the legacy of my grandfather. He was a teacher basically, and from him I got inspired. But in my first choice was to be IAS officer. I was preparing for, and in between then I had started to teach also in private schools, tuitions and all. And you know, it's a the teaching is kind of affection, and it affected me a lot. And then 2008 I completed my B.Ed. 2003 I had started to teach. Basically after 5 years I completed my B.Ed, and then means professionally I become teacher with the degree. Basically that had happened. uh, in Lead School, I joined in 2016 as a principal, and here means even today I am working in the same school. Basically, I saw that whatever as a teacher I was expecting when we were talking about the kinds of learner, kinesthetic learner, visual learner, auditory learners are there. They should be served somewhere. And by working in different schools, right from Jhabua, Gadarwara, Hyderabad, and all, the technology was available. The smart boards were available. Everything was there, but somehow the teacher were not able to serve means use it with fullest potential due to the time limit. 40-minute period is there, then to switch on the CPU, and then when to show and what to show, all this stuff were there, and it was not a part of the teaching plans. Basically in Lead School, somehow we could bring it together with the technology, with the use of technology. So all our teachers plan we are keeping in the tab itself. Auditory and visual learners we are serving with the one click audio visual aid in the tab itself, so that the teacher need not to waste their time in searching and all these things. 40-minute time completely could be used. Kinesthetic learners are served with the each and every small activity that could be done in the class. And as and when the practice activity is not required, then practice in student lead part we used to do. So we have developed that in the plan. Basically
Uh, since how long you had been here in the lead school, sir?
this is my 6th year, sir.
6 years, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, which part of Maharashtra exactly you are? Which is the biggest city near your place?
Solapur and Ahmednagar. These are the two district places basically.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, and welcome, sir,
Thank you. Thank
for
you.
sparing your time. Next, we have a very favorite administrator of myself, because I cannot say now principal ma'am is a director now. Jashika Bharadwaj ma'am, she's a director of Bharat Ram Global School, Ghaziabad. She has taken over the school just now 1 month back. Congratulations, ma'am. And
Thank you.
she is a very versatile personality, having a people keep on moving in India कि हम यहाँ घूमे वहाँ घूमे, तो ma'am has moved out in the whole world. So basically it will be छोटा मुंह बड़ी बात speaking about her. We'll come directly to ma'am. Yashika ma'am, please, again, people will like to know that how did I mean, you came into the profession by chance or by choice, of course, as well as from a teacher to a director. How did you rose to that?
Well, the answer to your first question, thank you so much initially for having me on the show and saying such wonderful words. And the answer to your question is it was very much by choice. And I came into the profession very early in life. I graduated when I was just about 19 plus. And soon after, my father was from the army, and I was posted in a place, he was posted in a place where it was a question of sink or swim, and I had to keep myself busy. And I decided that it would be good that if I were to start teaching. So it was very much by choice. And at the age of 19 plus, I started teaching and then moved on to teach in the army public school in Dholarkwa, where it was an interesting time because the students of grade 11 and 12 were my father's course mates' children, who for whom I used to be organizing events in the evening. And while in the school, I was teaching the same students. So it was quite a role shift in the morning and the evening time. The journey continued from there, and taught in various schools, got married to an army officer, and therefore moved from place to place. And there was a time when I got the opportunity to be a principal. And I think being a principal affords you the opportunity to implement your ideas in education and to be the change that you've been actually talking about all the time when you were a teacher. I wish I could do this. So here it was a chance for me to do things which we felt would be right for children. And I've been a principal for 22 years before I took on the role of the director now a month ago. And that's been the journey so far. And it's been extremely satisfying and a job that cannot equal any other. I've always maintained that there are two professions we'll never run out of. One is doctors and the other is teachers, because children will be born, they will fall ill, and teachers and students will be needed to be taught. There are people who've lived as hermits, there are people who've lived off nature. So food and residence is something that, yes, maybe we don't need, there will be a time where we may not need those many engineers or architects. I hope it doesn't happen, but teachers and doctors will always be there. And if we can empower a teacher to understand what her role in shaping the life of the future of this country is, I think that's a phenomenal job. So I completely agree with Charu that if time were to be taken back, I'd definitely drive on this road again.
Thank you so much, and congratulations, man, once again. And thank you so much for coming. I was very happy and surprised when you told me, okay, and you have changed my school and designation. I was so happy to hear, ma'am, that you have become the director of a school, and this school also be blessed, because already you have blessed so many years in that school, and now this school will be blessed under you guys. Thank you, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you ever so much. Thank you.
My pleasure, ma'am. Next eminent guest is Pooja Bose, ma'am. She is the principal of Pacific World School, Greater Noida West. Ma'am is also, we have to congratulate her first, ma'am. Pooja, ma'am, congratulations. You are back to your, what do you say, na, own country or city. हम अपने देश वापस आ गए. हमारा देश है Delhi NCR. You have come back again, and that joy feels in you, that moving up to so many places. I think you have not changed your school in profile even, ma'am. You were so happy, enjoying coming back to Greater Noida. It's still showing your old school. So you have also, ma'am, a versatile experience moving up to so many places as an educationist, as a leader, and many other. So better, ma'am, please tell us, how did you came into education, by chance or by choice? And from where you started, which school you started, and how did you rose to coming up to Pacific World School?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me here, and thank you for connecting me with everyone. I cannot say that I started by choice, or it was by some sort of twist of fate that it happened. It was a conscious decision. I was in Delhi University, and the B.Ed program was being offered in my own college in DU, and I did appear for the entrance exam. But then my first choice was Masters in Social Work from Delhi School of Social Work, which I also made it. But then everybody around me thought that teaching was the right profession for women, and we should go for it. So somehow I kind of did obey what my family members told me. And then thereafter, I got married to an army officer, and we kept moving from one place to the other. And so we are kind of connected that way also. That fraternity also connects us. And also what connects us is the educational fraternity. But I would not agree with you when you say that, it's my hometown. I really claim that my entire country is my hometown. So I was completely at ease and loved every minute of the time I spent in Kerala. I was working with one of the most magnificent organizations in the entire world, I would say, the Tatas, and it was a lovely experience. I touched greatness when I worked with them. They taught me what it is to be great, to be good, to be conscious, to deliver the best what you have within you. So that way, it was an amazing experience, something I would always cherish all my life. I've come back here, and I think life is a huge adventure, and we must taste each and every moment of it. And I'm going to take this with I'm going to embrace it rather, and I'm going to love each moment of the time I spend here in Delhi NCR also. Talking about my educational journey, I have been a teacher, and at the core of it all is my spirit as a teacher, which directs me to do whatever I do as an administrator. I've kind of felt that my ability to work in different departments in a school has really helped me grow myself as a principal, because for example, timetabling, examination, subject-based activities, everything becomes necessary when you are sitting on a chair and you are telling others what is to be done. Because unless you have done that yourself, I think you really don't empathize with the way teachers are teaching nowadays. And the times have been very tricky, very challenging, as we all know. So we need to have a sense of empathy and a sense of, we have to be more sensitive when we talk to the
Yes.
teachers, when whatever directions we give. So that's how I believe that education has seen many twists and turns, but this was a real U-turn we took, and this was a milestone in the life of any educationist around the world. So we are living in great times, I believe, and I think that
That's
it
great,
has
ma'am.
just started. Yeah.
That's great, ma'am. We all second with your thought, because we first of all we have to prove ourselves as a teacher, then we become the administrators. That
Yes.
is why we have to give a very long examination before coming to that. See, when we were teachers, we used to see the principal is coming in a long car, sitting in a AC office. Oh my God, she's having a good time. So now
Mm,
the karma is like that we are doing the same thing, and oh my God, that was something much better as of now.
precisely.
So
Yeah.
we say that this is a karma. You are looking after the principal and saying that now your teachers are looking after you and saying you're coming in a car and sitting in an AC office. But what we have to do, what challenges, especially after this pandemic, even then during the pandemic, what we have faced. I mean, we should be saluted. We are unrecognized Corona warriors, but we are the first one of that. No problem. We have mental satisfaction. We are happy with that. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, and welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Shabana Rehan, ma'am. She's the principal of a very beautiful school in Gwalior, Little Angels High School. Ma'am is the principal there and in the school from last 30 years, and the school is 32 years old. Welcome, Shabana, ma'am. Please let us know you came into the profession by chance or by choice, and there is no choice. You had only one school only since the
Yes,
beginning. You started your career when I think so. So
yes.
you,
Since the
ma'am,
beginning, sir, I had a passion for teaching, and
yeah.
I belong to Lucknow, and there also I was very much fond of going to schools and visiting schools and all. But I got married from Lucknow. I got married to Gwalior, and in 1988 I got married, and the school was established in 1990. Then I joined the school in 1991 when my son was admitted in class playgroup, actually. I was visiting the school just as a parent, and there I got the this proposal by the director of the school to join the school. So I was made the class teacher of second standard that time, and the school was up to third standard only. Then that time I was not very much interested in joining as a permanent teacher. So I was there as a floating teacher. I used to take few classes and come back. Then she called and she asked me to join the school permanently because there was vacancy for UKG class. Then I was a class teacher for UKG, and from nursery till 12th standard, I used to take all the classes then gradually. Then I became the headmistress, and I also acted as a HOD for the English department and systems coordinator, because our school was the first school to get this ISO certification. So I was the systems coordinator also there. So I have worked very hard for the school, and I have already experienced great challenges also. But the challenges were really wonderful, and I had a wonderful time there in the school. And now, since 2014, I'm the principal of the school, and we are really having a great time there. and we are a family. It's more of a family now. So this is the
That's
experience.
great, ma'am.
Both of
That's
my
great,
kids
ma'am.
have studied there only. Both of my kids have studied there. So I have lasting memories with them, with the school now.
That's great, ma'am.
And
And
the
working for such a long time in one management is a
yes,
very big thing. It shows
yes.
that the management is very good because you see
Management is
when management is
wonderful
very, very good,
management. Yes,
wonderful
sir.
management. Tina ma'am is, of
Yes.
course, she's a wonderful
Tina
lady.
ma'am, Sunil
Tina
sir.
ma'am is,
They are
yeah,
wonderful people, sir.
they are
Wonderful
wonderful
people.
people. And they're taking care of the school matlab, at their level best. I've seen that how they are
Yes,
working
level
up,
best.
helping out. It's not like they have given. Now you have 4 branches of your school in the city,
Four
I suppose.
branches. We have 4 branches now,
That's great.
and
That's great.
all the
Thank you, ma'am,
branches
and
are
welcome.
doing really well. Very well.
Yes, ma'am, I know about that, ma'am. And if you will see that Little Angels High School in Gwalior, you will see greenery and the beautiful flowers. And, ma'am
Yes.
is very, is very into, that thing of, I mean, the
Yes.
greenery and
The
everything. She's
credit goes
very,
to our directors.
yeah, directors, especially
Tina
Tina ma'am.
ma'am is
Yeah,
very, very fond of all these things, and she
yeah.
takes personal care of this.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome, ma'am. Next, we have a very pleasing personality, Mr. Nirmal Shah, who is the expert of today. He's the co-founder of Counting Well. Let me introduce him formally first. He is the co-founder of Counting Well, a maths learning app for middle schoolers. The goal is to make maths learning easy, anxiety-free, and participative for children across the country. Their focus is to help the so-called apt students become more confident with maths and develop great problem-solving skills. They step in where school teachers are not able to provide personalized attention due to lack of time and bandwidth. He is also designing career and life lesson courses for the age of the 10 to 14 group, built around maths. Kids must know that maths matter. This is his funda. The kids must know the maths matter, and it will matter throughout their life. The best way to do is to show them how. And he has a 2 decades of experience at different parts of B2B and in the industry. I'll come up straight away. Sir has worked with so many companies at so many levels. It will take a much of time to discuss about that again. When I met Nirmal sir in one of the show again, we met some other people also, that he told me that we have come up with an app where the middle school children, they get, they started up with the middle school. That middle school student, they have a phobia. How this has risen, how this happens, how they can be helped. So when he explained me this, so I told him, requested him again that we will start up a new season with you, sir. And we have to talk about this house topic. We have felt this in our home also with our kids even. Till 5, they are grade 5, they are enjoying mathematics like anything. But when it is coming up to formula based, especially from grade 6 onwards, they have a phobia, they have a pressure from the community, they have the pressure from the teachers, and the vibes, that negative vibes come, that he says that mathematics is not my cup of tea. How can a child be a dull in studies, and how can be very good in mobile and all the gadgets? If the child is dull, the child should be dull in everything. So the phobia, how can we remove this, anxiety free, or how can we make it? Nirmal sir will tell us. Nirmal sir, first of all, tell us that how did it came in your mind that you were in such companies, big companies, US based companies, and how did it came into your mind that we should develop such type of app like Counting Well, where it can help the kids? And how did it came to your mind to come up with grade 6, 7, 8 first, not with 1 to 5? Please.
Hmm?
Sir, you're on mute.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for bringing me again on this show. I've been enjoying all the episodes so far. And before I start, I think one of the things I would like to say is that everybody that we've met in all these episodes, what I've seen is majority of the people, they say that they became teachers or principals by chance. And what I'm seeing is that, maybe it is destiny, maybe it is God's hand playing a role, but somehow whoever comes by chance, they are put in a place where they add a lot of value to children's lives. And that is amazing. It's not something that people want to do. They are put in that position, and I think they're chosen to be in that position. So that's great. And I think even for us, our journey started by chance. My co-founder and I, we were talking about what we want to do about Counting Well almost 4 or 5 years back, before we started anything formally. I was looking at my son. He was just getting into middle school, and he was starting to go through this whole phase of anxiety around mathematics and whatnot. And we looked at his friends as well, and all of them were going through a similar situation, except for the children who were doing very well, and their confidence would always build up because they were doing very well. But the rest of them continued to sort of languish, if I may. Uh, and my co-founder, who is a friend of mine for almost 20, 22 years, we talked about it, and we said, is there something we can do? Of course, we wanted to do it as a business, but we also realized that there is a lot of value that we can add to children. And when we were talking about it, technology was not so much in the mainstream. The only technology that people talked about was smart boards, and maybe to some extent video lectures and so on. So what we really thought is that, is there a way where we can actually make technology more effective for children? And is there a way that we can make learning more enjoyable for children? In order to do that, one thing that we have to do is to start at the level where the child is. We cannot start everybody at the same level. When we do that, that is where these problems happen, right? We see that all the children are given the same homework, and some are smart, they do it quickly. Some are okay, they manage it. Some are not so okay, and they don't manage it. And then that whole phobia and that vicious cycle of maths phobia starts. So we wanted to find a way to break that. And that's how Counting Well was started. So what we did was we said that we have to create a personalized learning structure for children, and it has to be at the skill level of the child. So we determine, using formative assessments, we find out what is the skill level of the child when it comes to maths problem solving. We try to find out if that skill, and this is not about specific topics, it is really skill, right? So what we realized is that children might not be able to solve problems because they don't understand the problem. There is a language problem before a maths problem. So is that really the issue? Or is there a problem in terms of them being able to create a strategy to solve a problem before they are actually jumping into solutions? So let's fix all that before we say that start doing calculations. So that's what we did. We created this whole content structure around it. We did a lot of assessments of children, and that's how we built Counting Well. We did for middle schools because we saw that that's where the struggle really starts. So if we can stop the struggle there, then hopefully the child will be able to move on with a lot more confidence. Whether they take maths as a proper subject in their future or not doesn't matter, right? Even today, simple things like, if I'm buying something on credit card, how much interest am I paying? At least that I should be able to calculate in my mind. I don't need to really use a calculator. Some of these things are basic literacy, numeracy skills which children should have, and that they can build if they like the subject. So we wanted to create that environment for the child. So that's how Counting Well started.
That's great, ma'am. I also, sir, I feel that like students, they are not taught practically. Instead, they are taught about, mathematics like other subjects. If the greengrocer is coming to you in your lane and you're buying something vegetable, give this 1 kg, this 250 grams, this half kg, and this 100 grams. He's illiterate. Within few seconds, he'll tell you how much amount you have to pay. But that if you given a word problem to a child, he'll start, assuming that again, sir, I'll repeat your words only. A plus B whole square is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB. He knows this is there. Why are you making it A square plus B square plus 2AB? This he is not knowing. If these concepts are not clear to the child, and this is the main reason, because mathematics, people take it as the same subject as other subjects are. So this curiosity should be cleared. And I hope this thing is also being carried on in your Counting Well, also how you make it more interesting and how children are able to understand practically.
Absolutely.
Am I right,
So,
sir?
this example that you gave of the greengrocer, they are able to do it because for them, it is a life skill. It's a matter of their livelihood. So we have to tell the children that whatever maths they're learning is going to be part of their livelihood. When we do that, they will learn it with interest. Right now, it is looking like one more subject which I have to learn. I have to do 15 chapters throughout the year. So many formulas I have to learn. I don't know why I'm going to use it or where I'm going to use it. So when the children start having these questions, then the interest is not there. They're just doing it to score marks, right? So that's what we want to do. That's why one of the things we are doing is we are creating all these other courses along with the syllabus oriented content where we show them how maths is used in real life, financial literacy, data science, all of this they will be probably learning when they go past college. But we are showing it them to them now in the middle school, because we want to create that level of interest at this stage. And I think that is where, that building of interest is what will drive the children to have the interest in the subject also.
Sir, and the very best thing you're doing is you're providing us this app for free during this session. That is the best part you're going to do with us, sir, and you're doing it. Because after pandemic, so much of wounds and hurts we have, that so many things have to be recovered from the school part also and admin part also, that schools do not want to go up with more expenses as of now. Everybody will agree with that.
I don't, when I come to you, I don't want you to say, sir, aap itna paisa kyun maang rahe ho? Abhi to mere paas kuch nahi hai. Right? I mean, and that obviously translates to children and parents as well, right? When it's not that the school spends, ultimately it's the parent who spends. So that whole chain gets affected. And we definitely want to see that at least this year, when everybody is now back into that recovery mode, we are also helping the parents and the schools get into that stage.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to the other part, next part, and come up to you again. That is it worth to take it or not? Free, so it's okay. But it is worth to take counting well or not? Or it will be, we will keep on counting only. There'll be nothing well over that. So that we'll discuss in the later part of the session, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to the next part. I won't put it question down, session down. I'll come up to Charu ma'am first. Charu ma'am, we want to know your views on the saying that mathematics is not only about numbers, it is also about understanding. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Very rightly said, sir. And in fact, I would say mathematics is actually numbers, not numbers, it is understanding. Okay, it is not about numbers, it is about understanding the concepts. Numbers are just the medium on which these concepts are applied and tested, as Nirmal sir was saying, and you also said about the green browser. These are just the medium, these are the vehicle on which we carry on the life skills or the concepts that are to be used. Okay, and mathematics is the number sense and not numbers. So mathematics is a group of skills that allows us to work with the numbers. And one thing that I would like to say here, that when Nirmal sir was saying that when his son was in middle school, then he thought about bringing this particular concept. But and you were also saying that till class 5 students love mathematics, or they are good at mathematics, and suddenly they lose their interest. I would say it is the foundation actually that is weak. That is why in NEP they are talking about foundation literacy and numeracy. So foundation numeracy has to be really very strong, where they understand the numbers as a number sense. They understand the concepts and not numbers as 1, 2, 3. When I say count 4, usually teachers say or my parents say, okay, ye kitni ungli hai, or like that. But you are not giving anything to them in hand. A greengrocer has his vegetables in hands, which he is using to count and give you the numbers. So instead of saying that this is 2 and this 2 plus 2 is 4, if I give them pens and then say, okay, this is 2, and now if I give you more, 2 more, it is in your hand, if I take it. So all these things, when we are doing it, where the students are actually using the concept to as a something concrete. So at the foundation literacy, foundation level, when we are giving them numbers as something concrete to work with, it will give them a love with mathematics. And later on, as I think Nirmal sir or you were saying, talking about formulas. When in 6th standard onwards, what happens? Formulas come. And usually what the teachers do, they do a plug and chug method. Na? You are given a formula, you plug into that, check the values that are given and get the result without thinking that why it is being done so. Okay. So if instead we go into derivation, like I was just talking to a teacher the other day, that how come you are able to finish your syllabus of mathematics early and still your students are able to do better. So the reason that she gave me was really good. She said that I don't get into giving them one more problem, one more problem, one more problem kind of a thing. I just tell them how this formula is derived. We get into the working of the formula, and then after once they know that what is the formula, they will know how to use it, where to use it, what to, like simple percentage. Many a times people are not able to do simple unitary method. अगर ये इतने का है तो ये कितने का होगा, kind of a thing. People get confused in that. Students get confused. So it is when we do, when we have numbers with us and we are working with the number sense, it will always be better. I was a chemistry teacher. I'm a chemistry teacher at heart. So I used to see that because numericals in chemistry used to come very difficult to the students, because there again, you have to, students were doing the plug and chug method. What I started doing was that you weave a story. What is it that ye hua? Uske baad then this many grams of this was added, and then this percentage was done. So when you weave a story around some mathematical concept, then it will be a good thing. Last thing that I would say, when taking from you only, sir, you said mathematics is a problem, can be used as a problem solving, something of that kind, I think you said. So I would say mathematics is understanding of a system, understanding of it is an understanding subject where you are understanding the number sense and you are using that number sense to solve the problems. So it is not a problem solving subject. You are using the number sense to solve the life problems.
Right. So, amazing, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And of course, playway method or the, example method or these type of methods should be used in all the classes. It's not confined to only pre-primary classes. It should be used from PG till grade 12. Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll come up to Archit sir. Archit sir, your views on the same topic, that mathematics is not only about numbers, it's about understanding.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I'm quite aligned with the Rucha ma'am, actually, Charu ma'am, sorry. So basically, yes, mathematics is about the understanding, and it's not about the number. When we talk about the number, it goes like somewhat abstract, you just imagine the child, suppose 3-year, 4-year child or 6-year child coming to school, and somebody is telling this is the symbol of 1, symbol of 2, and if suppose Roman number it comes, then again the symbols are changing, right? So those are the abstract, which is not actually for the life. What for the mathematics is basically to take the calculated risk, to take decisions, to analyze the data and then take the decisions. It is all about making decisions in life. So, and decisions to be made means without understanding it never happens, So that is why mathematics is more about understanding and not about the numbers. Unfortunately, many of the schools, those practices happen directly with the numbers. They introduce the children, and that first point it become when the phobia started to develop, because it is nowhere relevant to the child. Child knows I have 2 eyes, I have 1 nose, I have some teeth, the ears and all this, which is there with them, and it has to be counted, and for that the mathematics is there. Instead of going into that particular very relevant aspect of the mathematics, we directly start children with suppose 1, 2, 3 symbols to learn, tables to learn and all these things, and that become the point when the phobia develops among the children, and then it sustained for the life, and then they feel that the mathematics is not my cup of tea. Those kinds of things happen. So yes, I agree with this statement, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to Yashika ma'am again. Ma'am, it is often seen that mathematics is regarded as the most difficult subject, especially during the middle school. According to you, how can this bridge be capped?
I actually disagree that it's the most difficult subject. And as I was listening to the speaker speaking, where we as educationists go wrong fundamentally is when we're teaching maths in the beginning. Because in the pre-primary years, we're teaching them their standing lines and sleeping lines and teaching them how to write numbers without actually giving them concrete concepts of the number. And from grade 1 to 5, it's manipulation of numbers on the same 4 topics of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And gone are those days when we are made to mug up the tables and understand how many times what is what. We need to change as teachers how we are going to be delivering our mathematics. I remember checking a teacher once I have to apologize for the hoarseness of my voice while I'm trying to speak to you. I'd lost my voice. But as teachers, I remember ticking off a teacher once when she was teaching the students 3 6 jar 18, 3 7 jar 21. And I asked her to write down for me in Hindi exactly what she was saying. What she was writing down was 3 6 j के साथ आ की मात्रा, 3 6 ja 18, because that's the way she had learned it. And now the concept is changing. You say 3 times 6 is 18, 3 times 7 is 21, because you're giving the children a concrete idea that 7 is being placed 3 times or 3 is being placed 7 times. And that's how you're getting this. When we make the children see the logic behind something rather than mugging it up, it doesn't become difficult. And it's like when we teach the children the value of pi is 3.142 or it's 22 upon 7. How have we actually taught it to the children? Have we ever tried that, okay, if we've got the area of a circle, or if we say the circumference, what if we were to take and check the circumference and mark it and place it? Then use pi as a hypothetic and place the numbers. You've actually shown the children how you've come to derive pi as the value of 22 upon 7. When you're teaching them applicability of maths concepts, it doesn't become difficult. When you make maths joyful, it doesn't become difficult. My O levels, which I did, were in English, history, geography, French, German, chemistry, and maths. And I only took maths and chemistry because my teacher made the subject come alive for me. So it's important that we make the subject come alive and we don't restrict maths to numbers, because this is one subject which exists in every aspect of our lives. Whether we choose to put carpets on our floor or paint our walls or buy some dresses, everything involves numbers and measurements. There's nothing in life without maths. You and I may be speaking Hindi or English or Punjabi or French or German. So we can exist with different languages, but we cannot exist in life without maths. And when the children understand the utility of maths, which could be fun and practical, we can't go wrong and it will not become a difficult subject.
Amazing, ma'am. Great. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your views. Beautiful thoughts. We'll come up to Pooja, ma'am, now. Ma'am, again, your thoughts on the same topic, that how can we bridge this gap of the maths learning in middle school?
So before I begin by giving my opinion about how we can bridge this gap, I'd like to confess that I had a major phobia about mathematics. I was very scared as a student about how would I clear mathematics exam, etc., etc. So I telling you comes from the place of somebody who has always been fearful of mathematics. And I kind of agree with Nirmal and disagree too when he says that math is all about language problem, because I had no language problem per se. I mean, that part was sorted. So there was something more. And I mean, I'm just saying it from my point of view. Maybe there are a generation of population of students who suffer in mathematics because of language problem. But why I suffered and why most of the students I see suffering around me, I'm going to share that with you all. So first and foremost is that the problem generally begins when we move from concrete mathematics to an abstraction, right? And this transformation from a concrete math to an abstract math, that is somewhere when we start with x and y's and alphas, etc. That's the time when most of the students the mind gets boggled. And therefore the teacher needs to handhold the child, make this journey more more pleasurable and more connected with the child, rather than making it sound as if it is something you're entering a fortress of a different kind. So that is one. The second is that I kind of have a different opinion when we say that everything cannot be made into a concrete reality. There has to be a point of time, especially in the syllabus which we are dealing with, that it will become an abstraction and it cannot be told on fingers, for example, or on pebbles or on with objects. You cannot objectify everything which a maths textbook beholds, right? We have gamification in maths. That's one of the ways in which mathematics can be made easy and pleasurable. But then at the end of the day, I think there is so much more in mathematics which we have to deal with as a student and as teachers. The next point is, that the concepts, the moment the teacher begins to explain the concepts, her own ability as a language teacher becomes very, very important. You see, the problem is not about, just about that children are not able to understand. The problem is also that the teachers also struggle to explain a concept in a language which is more child friendly, or the way the concepts can be deconstructed. That needs to be really diagnosed. You have to, micromanage those concepts and then bring it to the child. Next, that every student in the class has his or her own level or ability in mathematics. They might be sitting in level 7, but they don't all belong. Their mental ability is not of class 7 as far as mathematics is concerned. The teacher has to reach and understand and recognize where that level of each student lies. Unless that recognition comes, and that demands a lot of time, a lot of patience, which is generally not there amongst the teachers. So the teacher simply walks into the classroom, picks up a chalk, starts with the unit, and expects everybody to start. The starting line of the race is not the same, my friends, here. We are all somewhere back, front, and that's what happens. He or she gives a sum, and 5 children will finish it in 2 minutes, then another 10 will finish it in 10 minutes, and then there are some children who never finish it at all. So what does the teacher do with them? That is the important and crucial question, because the gap, what you call the learning gap or the mathematics gap, increases and widens like anything. And there comes a moment when the child just lets go, gives up altogether. So we need to understand when that gap actually starts. To the best of my ability, I would say it starts when the abstractions in mathematics begin. So we need to catch. That's a very important moment in the life of a child. So we need to make that easier. That journey, that transition should be easier. You have to have a higher resolution when it comes to explanation of core concepts of math. It cannot be done in a short span of time. You have to give it more time, give it more patience, give more number of periods. And also that will happen when you kind of have the patience to listen to what the child has to say in terms of explaining how he arrived to the solution. Because how he arrived or she arrived to a solution is more important than the solution itself, right? So that is something which we need to be, we need to note down. Another area, highly neglected, mental math. We as kids, I remember in our school, we had a separate period for mental mathematics. It doesn't exist anymore now. I think we have to bring that traditional way in which the teacher would just say 5 za and we write down. And if the teacher says 5 plus 10 plus 13 makes it what? And that is very important because your own neurons are getting, connected there. So that is a necessary process which needs to happen in the brain. And I also am a big fan of drills. Even if it's rote learning, I think that the mathematics table saves a lot of our time. So I am a believer that we need to gamify math, we need to modernize math, we need to make it more activity oriented, but we should not let go of the traditional methods of learning in mathematics too.
Absolutely right, ma'am. We agree with you here, given the whole concept and why children have this gap. And you are very right. The role of the teacher is the most important one. Children have different problems, different situations. They have the same mindset, but the way they are carried up, that is more important. So basically in 2 lines, we can say that the teacher should take up with the easy topics at first, and they should also clear up the concepts and how it is happening, and they should come up with the high level concepts. So that level should be taken over, but the teacher is the most important, and this is what we are discussing, that how the technology and the other things which have come into being, which were not in our time. We never had. I was a math student in grade 12th. I had maths. I got 98% because I got a good teacher. I was not very good till grade 10, but in 11th, 12th, I was very good at mathematics because the teacher that changes your life. He may change it in 1 month only, they can change your life. One other principal came over and she told that my son to commerce, I had said him to take mathematics. He was not very good at mathematics till his pre-boards. He got 70%, but I got a good teacher in Delhi NCR, Sundar World School, ma'am. So ma'am said that I got a teacher who used to come 1 day in 1 week, but my son got so good marks in that because that teacher changed my son's life within a month or two only, coming 1 day in 1 week. So that is very important. The teacher is the major important, and all these are the tools which we are going to use to reform this. So basically, we are gathered here again how we can reform with the help of these tools also. Thank you so much, Pooja ma'am. We'll come up to Shabana ma'am. Shabana ma'am, how does technology helps in bridging maths learning gap, and how does it makes maths more easy and interesting? Like just now, ma'am, Pooja ma'am talked about gamification should be over there, drills should be over there. So how does technology helps us, the teachers as well as the students? Ma'am, you're on mute.
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to say the perception that maths is ambiguous and complex makes it difficult for students to understand the subject actually. And the teachers play a major role. Even I had the phobia for maths, and till date, I think many of the students have this phobia. And the teachers can make the subject lively if the teachers focus mainly on the topics which the topics are difficult and the children are finding it difficult in understanding. The teachers play a major role. And technology has become a vital part in teaching and learning. It helps to increase the student engagement actually. It helps the teachers to improve their lesson plans and facilitate personalized learning. And we have to go for personalized assessments also, where the child is lacking behind, why the child is not able to tell the problems. It helps students to build essential 21st century skills, collaboration, data analysis, problem solving techniques, design thinking, analytical thinking. The technology helps the growth of the student, and the teachers should learn how they can make the subject lively. There are so many techniques. Students achieve new levels of productivity through technology. It improves instruction methods. Classes become lively, and students can explore and make discoveries with games and digital tools. Nowadays, we have tab kids, and so many techniques are there. But the only thing is how the teachers are going to use it. So regularly, we should have the workshops and the trainings for the teachers, especially the teachers for the middle classes, 5th to 8th standard. Because even I agree with this point with which ma'am was saying, that learning in a game form, the tables which the children used to learn in the beginning, the starting, that was really interesting. And now the things are becoming dull and boring for the children. And especially when the children, sometimes what happens is many students don't admit their difficulty in the class, in a particular topic, what problem they are facing in that topic, and the teacher moves to another topic, and the children lag behind. But they are not asking, and gradually the gap begins. This is the gap, and technology definitely can help us a lot. And for this, we need to train our teachers regularly, and the teacher plays 100% role in bringing interest in the students while they are for the maths class. We have
Absolutely right.
maths lab also, and NEP is also focusing more on these technologies and numeracy and all. So we should not only just go through the things which NEP and CBSE is asking to us, but we should focus on that and make our teachers develop in themselves the 21st century skills. First, the teachers should develop in themselves. Then only they can bring the changes in the students.
Absolutely right, ma'am. Absolutely right. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll come up to Nirmal sir. Nirmal sir, as an expert, first of all, we like to know what everybody has talked about. And again, coming back to the same thing, that now we want to know that what is counting well, how it is helping the teachers and the students. Is that removing the role of the teachers, or teachers will be over there and the students will also be on the same position? So please let us know about your counting well, as well as the concept which you are following, the gamification and the way of, all the methods, sorry, why you are using.
So definitely there is no way that teacher can be removed, right? Teacher can absolutely not be eliminated from education. If education has to be there, then teacher has to be there. It is about empowering the teachers. How can we empower teachers with better tools? How can we empower teachers with technology? So we've been talking about NEP, we've been talking about what CBSE is directing and so on. The other aspect is also, especially what Shabana ma'am brought up, is that teachers have to be trained regularly and constantly, because that side of the system where the teachers are getting trained is not really aligning with NEP yet, right? So you can say that education system has to be designed in a certain way, but are the teachers also designed to work with that system? If they are not, then it is our responsibility to get the teachers also up to the mark. So can we give the teachers the right tools and technology to help them get there? Now, important points. I think one very interesting aspect what Pooja ma'am brought up is that she said that teacher starts at a common starting line, and unfortunately, all the children are not at the same starting point, and that is what our experience has been as well. So one of the things what we did was last year about 75,000 students used Counting Well independently, and we did a kind of data analysis of their learning throughout the 1 year that they used it. And what we found is that a lot of them have a learning gap from the previous years. So what happens is that in 7th grade, you are not able to do something or achieve a certain level of performance because you do not know something what you should have learned in the 6th grade, and so on. So, and that of course snowballs, right? Especially in mathematics, it's always a chain. So it adds up and it actually multiplies. So what we found is that if we are able to understand what these learning gaps are, and they need not be just about your current year, it could be from your previous years, only then we'll be able to plug the gaps. So we do an analysis. For example, when we do an assessment of the child, we not only do an assessment of what you don't know now, but then we kind of create a chain and we say, okay, if you don't know this, then is it because you don't know the concept, or is it because you did not learn something from your previous year properly? So we do a further assessment. And if the problem is what you have not learned in your previous year, then we first fill that gap and then move forward. So that way we are able to bring the child to that common starting point. Right now, the other aspect is that the personalized assessments. So again, because all the children are not at the same level, if we do an assessment at the same level, then obviously you will find that some children are failing, some are doing good, some are doing average, and so on and so forth. So how do we do an assessment where we determine what the level of the child is? And obviously that will also tell us what their learning gaps are, right? What are the gaps because of which they are not at par with other children? So what we have done is, for example, the tool that we offer to schools, we say that you assign a 20-minute homework to children. Okay. As a teacher, today, if you have taught 2 concepts within a chapter, not even the whole chapter, you just assign a 20-minute homework to the child, and we will do an assessment as part of the homework, and we will determine what is that learning gap that the child has. Based on that, we will do the first level of intervention. So we will provide not just the solution and explanation, but we will also provide some learning to the child so that the child can overcome that learning gap. And as a teacher, you will see that report the same day. As soon as the child is completed, you get to see what is that learning gap that the child has. So now it is not just anecdotal, you have data. As teacher, now you are able to see in your class of 30, 40, 50 students, you are able to see what is that group of students which have got learning gaps because of skills or because of previous knowledge or because of lack of conceptual knowledge and whatnot, right? And now, very next day, the teacher can intervene and fill those learning gaps. So you don't have to wait for quarter exams, term end exams, and so on to determine that now the child has not done so well. By that time, you're already moving forward. There is no way that you can come back. And there is no way that the child will be able to move forward because the child is stuck behind, right? So now there is this whole gap which is getting created. The child is behind, teacher is moving forward, and that gap keeps widening. So if we are able to fill that gap as and when it happens, then that's the best thing that we can do. So that combination, and that's why we call it blended learning, right? So teacher in the classroom, and then we do the intervention as an after school program rather than in the classroom. Teacher continues to do her job. We do not interfere with that, but at the same time, we continue to support the teacher. So that's how we build up that whole learning cycle and progress the child.
That's great, sir. And we have seen, and I think Shabana ma'am was also saying that children, they don't speak inside the class. They don't ask questions because others will make fun of them. Are tumko ye nahi aata, you don't know this, how silly you are. So that way, other students who want to ask, they don't ask. That is why the learning gap happens in almost all the subjects. It's not about mathematics only. But when we have a tool like this at his ease 24/7, the child can get into that thing. He can analyze because he's one-to-one.
Yeah.
There are no students or teacher over there is one-to-one, and he can correct wherever errors he's doing. And when the next day is coming up back to the school, he will get aligned to all the students. All the students will be in equal alignment or equal numbers. So there will be no only 3 or 4 toppers inside the class. Every child will be a topper. And it is usually seen, what I feel is that if the child is good in mathematics, will be good. Mostly will be good in other subjects also. Right.
So it's just a matter of confidence, right? If I'm able to solve the problem, or even if I'm wrong, nobody is ridiculing me. Somebody is just telling me how to do it right and move forward. Then my confidence builds. And once I have that confidence in one subject, I will have confidence in all the subjects that I can do it. That's as simple as that.
In all the subjects as well as life, sir, because they get the confidence for life also with mathematics. Thank you so much, sir. We'll come up to the next round. We are shortage of time. A very short answers will be requesting for all the participants, 1 minute maximum. Charu ma'am will come up to you. The next question is, it is seen that children in middle school lose interest in mathematics. According to you, what are the reasons behind it?
Yeah, for this, again, most of the discussion that we were having, the answers are from that only. At middle school, it is the formulas, the abstraction as comes, X, Y, alpha, as ma'am was also saying. So all these things are coming in the middle school. So before that, because the foundation of the students, they have not got the number sense. They have been taught numbers, as I said. The number sense, dealing with the numbers, has not been given to them. And when it comes to middle school and they have to plug in into the formulas, they are not taught how to deal with that. For simple, like if there in mathematics, there is a formula on distance. When the students are taught distance, they are given 2 formulas. One, when the object is at origin, that this is the formula that you have to use. When the object is at this particular position, then you have to use this formula. Why do we have to do that? Because it is there in all the reference books, etc. The students learn 2 formulas for distance without even thinking why this formula and from where this formula is originating. So a teacher who spends a little more time in deriving the formula, discussing and going on ground and working on the formula will always see that the students are doing better in abstract thinking, abstract problem solving also. So here again, like in my school, we have started one project where we are doing novels. So the students and teachers together for class 7, they have developed a cartoon novel where for direct and indirect variations. And through the novel story, the way it goes, we are calling it novel because it's like Archie's comics. Okay, so there the student that how through various instances in the kitchen where some family friends are coming and mother is making chapati, the dough is there. So there are some direct variations and then indirect variations. So various case studies have been taken up by the students and the teachers, and a comic book has been developed for this particular. So this is our just one beginning, and it is taking up nicely. I feel we'll be developing more such comic books around the maths concept, and as Nirmal sir is there to help the schools for making maths concepts easy, maths understanding easy. That is,
Yes.
and
Thank
I'm fixing on this. That
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
and last, but
Atis,
before I leave,
yeah,
things like GeoGebra, Desmos, RoboCompass, all these things our teachers are using, which also makes maths understanding easy.
ma'am, we have to be after the teachers do this, do that, but after some time again they are on the same position. Again, you have to check out the teachers again with this. If the system comes into being, so that goes as a system, and the teachers they also learn and they also improvise themselves, as well as students will also become smarter. So they need, in the 21st century, techniques and tools they need for sure. Thank you, ma'am. Atis sir, over to you, sir. Your answer in 1 minute, sir. The reasons behind get losing interest in mathematics.
Yeah, so basically, when we go to the root cause of the interest, so we will find when the interest develop among the children. So we know, we find one thing, ki if I know something, so it's the first cause for my interest. And second thing, when I know something, then somebody appreciate me, so that become another cause for my interest. This is how the interest develop. Now, if children are losing it, it simply means that somewhere the gap remains, somewhere the concept understanding remain with the child, and then somebody is maybe peer or maybe parent or maybe teacher, somebody, you do not know this, you do not know that, these kind of the things are coming, and then gradually the child lose the interest, and this is how the interest goes down. Same place we will find the solution also. If suppose we want to develop the interest in the mathematics in the subject, we need to take it as a skill but not as a subject, as all dignitaries spoken over here. The simple things are, the concept need to be very much clear to the child, and that could be done through the concrete method only. The concept should be cleared through concrete method. Then we can go the pictorial method, and then go for the abstract when the numbers are not possible to be written on a page, or suppose the objects could not be provided, that time then abstracts are required basically. Simple example supposed to be given, the ma'am has touched to the pi. So when I was discussing with the student and even with some of the teachers also, when I asked about what is a pi, so the people are talking about pi is a irrational number. Then okay, how did it come? So then somebody is telling it is 22 by 7, then somebody is telling it is 3.14 and something like that, and then somebody is telling that it is irrational number also. So when the questions are questioning skill is again very important thing for the child to come up with the original knowledge. So then when the questioning was kept over, ki if it is 22 by 7, then how come it be a irrational number? It must be a rational number like that. So when we went to the depth, and then I told them, is it possible to measure the circumference of the circle when the radius is not given to you? And then the child is thinking, ki, sir, how it is possible? 2 pi r is the formula. How can we calculate the this one circumference? And when one of the girl child bangle kept on the table and asked, okay, you do not know the radius, now calculate it. How to do? And then the child, one of the child thought, yes sir, we can put a thread around it, and then we can measure the length of it, and it's about this one circumference of a circle. And then when the concept came to the children, when it is asked, okay children, tell me what particular component of the circle could be measured without pi or any formula, do you know that? And then the children are coming, sir, radius could be measured, sir, the diameter could be measured, and now circumference could be measured. And that time when the children were told, ki children, this is what the Aryabhatta had done, that he had taken the ratio of the circumference of circle to its diameter, and then out of thousands of circles, when he got certain number, that number was the pi, and that was non-terminating, non-recurring, and that the symbol is given as a pi. It's not something like number or 22 by 7 and all these things. Then children felt ki, acha, that was the case. That is how the pi has come. It's not actually in existence. It's a ratio. It's a relation. So this is how when we go with mathematics become skill for the children. Mathematics become interesting for the children. One more thing has to be kept in mind by the teachers, sir. Ki mathematics is not that there is one problem and one type of solution. It's not like a one question, one answer. Even if suppose one algebraic problem we are going to find out, there are a lot of concepts are going to be used. There may be the fraction, the step come when the fraction is there and child do not know how to add the fraction, and then he is not getting the answer. But algebra he is very much clear with. So their teacher need to be very much alert. I mean, in my school, I asked maths teacher specially to keep a diary with you. We are having a remedial period in the timetable itself. Keep a diary with you when you are observing during the student lead part. When you are observing that the sum of the child is having a problem with fraction alone, and algebra is good. Child is having a problem with integer addition or subtraction or multiplication. You keep on noting, and then in remedial period you just address the child for that particular concept only, because as madam said, ki starting point is not for everyone. We need to find out that starting point, where is the gap, and then we need to meet that gap. Technology wise, I really appreciate the technology is really empowering a teacher, because for teacher it is not possible to find it. There are 40 children in the class and every child will have some or the other kind of the gap. It is not possible for teacher to find out for every child, but technology, with the technology this is possible. When child is go on the solving the problem, I know the Khan Academy is there. When my child is using and he is go on solving the problem somewhere, he is stuck, immediately take to the solution, and there he knows ki, okay, this is where I am lagging. This is what very much important. Unfortunately in our system, we right from the childhood tell the children that somebody should be there to check you. Even the parents are having that attitude, why the teacher not check? Instead of that, I believe, provide child with the problem and provide with the solution also. Let him be the self checker. When he will check himself, he or she, that time the child will develop the concept, the confidence, and that confidence help child to live life with joy, with I can say the full of confidence to the child. That will be the better way to deal with the children. This is how I answer.
Amazing, sir. Amazing. Very good example you take of 22 by 7, the pi. The concept which you cleared me after so many years, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll come up to Jessica, ma'am. Jessica, ma'am, again, it's a very interesting topic. We can talk so many hours for that, but everybody is in shortage of time. Just now we came to know that 22 by 7, how it came into being. I know, didn't knew about that. So this is what we are doing, that the children, they learn mathematics instead of understanding it. So what are your suggestions to the teachers, that how should they teach?
I think it's a brilliant question you've asked me, and something I was hoping and waiting you'll ask. You know, we've got all these fantastic tools, fantastic apps which are available. Like, I will address myself to Nirmal as well when you've got Counting Well, where we are teaching the children through apps or through technology how to solve. In fact, there's just this morning I was reading about an app for maths that if you've got a problem, I think it's called Photomath. You click a photograph of your problem and it gives you a solution. My point to every single one of us here and to every single maths teacher who hopefully will be seeing this, we teach them the what and the how. But where are we teaching them? Where is it going to be applied? It's like I mentioned in my previous time when I spoke about finding out the same value of pi. I give you another example of the Pythagoras theorem, where we teach them a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Yes, we can go practically through millions of apps where we've got a side being made with red 1-inch squares and B side being made with yellow 1-inch squares, and one by one the child can place it on C squared, and the hypotenuse is the sum of all the red and yellow being put over there. Brilliant. Even a grade 3 child will learn it. But where does that Pythagoras theorem get applied in life? We are not teaching them that. When we teach them probability, do we teach them that in economics you'll be having demand and supply based on probability? No. I need to know which app or which maths teacher can deny the fact we need to teach the children is where and how in life pilot when he's descending. How does he calculate?
Thank you so much, ma'am. There was some network issue also. Thank you so much. And Pooja, ma'am,
Yes.
your views in very short, although Jessica ma'am also talked about a lot about it in precise.
So, I kind of like what Nirmal emphasized, that the children have to actually gain confidence when they're solving mathematical problems. So I feel that the greatest high which comes in the life of a child is when he or she is able to solve a problem himself. That eureka moment is what every child is looking for. And we've got to give more of those moments to the children. And how would that happen? How would that happen is that you have to really differentiate your class as per the levels within the section. If you think that your planning of the classroom, first of all, you need to reduce your content. The entire syllabus of mathematics is so content heavy that it becomes very, very difficult for an average teacher to teach those lessons in the given number of periods which are prescribed. And how does it happen when you are talking about differentiated learning? Just doesn't make sense. So we've got to actually change all of that, and we also have to be more empathetic to each child's diagnostic weaknesses. Like, the diagnosis becomes very, very important. So let us spend at least a month or two to diagnose the problems and then only try to resolve it. So not everyone has calculation issues. Some of them may have ability to comprehend the sums per se. And then there are memory issues also, as we all know, that some children just forget. Some children just forget to carry forward. Some children just forget, they just change the sign from minus to plus. So these are very basic things which happen, but they occur so frequently that ultimately it leads to a huge amount of gap in the child's learning ability. So giving them confidence actually boils down to the fact about diagnosing what are the weaknesses, and then only you will be able to provide confidence. Okay,
Right,
it is not a fit for all kind of a solution.
right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll come up to Shabana ma'am very early. Shabana ma'am, we want to know your views on the saying that technology is a tool with the help of which teachers can become smarter and thus provide smart learning. Okay, again, you're on mute, ma'am. Ma'am, Shabana ma'am, you're on mute.
Yes, sir. As we all know that maths is a unique subject and is used in every field, but all of us across the globe have observed the general dislike for this subject. So teachers should include more effective and interesting strategies. And I would suggest that all the teachers should devote instructional time daily to fill the gaps and maintain a no excuses attitude, that is, involve each and every child in the improvement process. Warm-up exercises. Warm-up exercises are to expose the students to problems that include tasks from prior years and units. We can give a topic and ask the students to draw or role play what they have understood. Play ice-breaking games to test their knowledge. Share your expertise. Share the stories of the great mathematicians. Share the stories of the people who have been successful through this subject actually. And blended learning. If the child is not coming to the school, blended learning should be the mode of teaching so that the children are not losing and they have the interest in that particular topic. One-to-one sessions should be conducted. Confidence checks on regular basis should be there. Sample papers to identify the learner's level and gaps. So these are the suggestions which I would like to give to the teachers, because students accept challenges and enjoy taking up challenges. And mathematics also should be taken up as a challenge that can be overcome with efforts and commitment.
Right.
And
Thanks.
as teachers, we should reduce the negative beliefs. The children can come up with this belief that nothing is impossible and they can do it.
Absolutely right, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Coming up to the last part of the show, which is, we have to reveal that. Before imparting, we have to sing 2 lines. Every participant has to sing 2 lines. We will start up with the newcomer in Greater Noida, that is Pooja ma'am. Pooja ma'am, you are going to sing 2 lines. Everybody has to sing, ma'am. Don't worry about that.
What are you
That is,
singing? Singing? You don't
yes,
want
ma'am.
to
This,
spoil your show, do you?
ma'am, you can see the previous episodes, last 20 episodes. Everybody sings over here.
What do
Two
they sing?
lines.
What do they sing?
Anything devotional, it will be filmy, it may be traditional, it may be in Bengali. I think you're a Bengali, you can sing in Bengali.
I'm
Yesterday, I
not
would
a
say, ma'am,
Bengali. I'm married to a Bengali.
you're married to a Bengali, so you might be knowing Bengali now, ma'am, after so many years.
No, but I can't sing for nuts.
No problem, no problem. It can
Let
be Hindi.
everybody sing, and then I can probably recite whatever they all are singing.
See,
Does that
first of all,
work?
first of all, ladies first, and I hope you are the youngest one. That's a compliment. So you should go ahead with that, ma'am. Then we'll come up to Charu
Yeah.
ma'am. Then we'll come up to Yashika ma'am, Shabana ma'am, and it will Ashish sir will also go for that. Anything you can talk, ma'am, Yashika ma'am. To you are the, we learn from you, ma'am. You're a role model, ma'am. You're on mute, ma'am. You're on mute.
I said I would definitely oblige you, but today I'm actually straining to speak.
Ma'am, when there is
You can
Children's Day or
hear
Teachers
me.
Day, ma'am, when it is Teachers Day or a Children's Day, when you are pushing up your teachers to do some perform something, ma'am, you can
देखो
go for.
आपने एक मैथ्स के लिए टॉक शो रखा है. सो मैथ्स के लिए बॉलीवुड का सबसे आसान गाना जो प्री प्राइमरी बच्चों को हम बोलते हैं सीखने के लिए इस 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 एंड 12 13 एंड नाउ फॉर दिस आई एम गोइंग टू से टू यू तेरा करूं इंतजार जब आप बुलाओगे मुझे बार बार.
Wow, 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 wow. Amazing. Pooja ma'am, just see the seniors, how brilliant they are, how they motivate. Matlab everything. You have sing all songs, sung also, motivation also, and complimented also. Pooja ma'am, over to you now. You should get inspired, ma'am, very well. Since long to you get inspired from her also. Charu ma'am will come up to you after that. Charu ma'am is always ready with.
So, are you asking me to sing now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Jessica ma'am sung first.
Okay. Okay, I will. I remember these lines. I love these lines. ना कोई पढ़ने वाला, ना कोई लिखने वाला, अपनी तो पाठशाला मस्ती की पाठशाला, अपनी तो पाठशाला मस्ती की पाठशाला. That's all from my side.
That's great, ma'am. If the children will listen to this, they will say, "Man, to masti kar rahi hai, to humko bhi masti karni chahiye." But we need the principals and the administrators who should be a masti type of person also. Then only you'll be able to deal up with your kids for sure. Thank you so much, Charu ma'am.
मैं क्या करूं, मुझे कोई मस्ती भरा गीत ही नहीं याद आ रहा.
कोई बात नहीं मैम, गम तो सारी जिंदगी में गम भरा तो ना सुनाइएगा. सारा दिन गम करके आते हैं.
नहीं गम भरा तो नहीं है, लेकिन वो जिस तरह की सिचुएशन है वर्ल्ड में, तो उसका तो मुझे बस पता नहीं आजकल ना हवन तो वही याद आ रहा है बस.
एनी मैम, एनी.
शांति कीजिए प्रभु त्रिभुवन में, शांति कीजिए प्रभु त्रिभुवन में, जल में थल में नील गगन में, जल में थल में नील गगन में, अंतरिक्ष में औषधि वनस्पति वन कीजिए प्रभु त्रिभुवन.
Wonderful voice,
Ma'am,
wonderful.
are you a professional singer, ma'am?
No.
Ma'am, during Jessica ma'am, Pooja ma'am, and Shabana ma'am, and Atis sir and Deval sir, during these few last episodes, 20 episodes, I have got so many singers over here. See, we need to have a me time. First, we are talking about that how you people have reached over here, then about the topic, and then we have a 10 to 15 minutes me time also we need. And I'm talking to the Indian Idol people also, that we should have an episode, we should have a season for the educationist. Only the admins That means the managements and the principal will be there. And Charu ma'am is going to go into the finals also. Such a beautiful voice you have, ma'am.
No, no, sir.
Artist
Thank you
sir,
so
before Shabana ma'am, sir, any regional Kannada? Which language do you speak, sir? I don't know.
Marathi actually we speak, but at present, all of a sudden, I do not remember any other song. But one Hindi song is there.
Sure,
So
sure, sure, sure.
that
Please
just
go ahead.
with your permission, I'd like to choose it because you are
Sure.
not going to excuse anyway. I know that.
Yes, sir.
So the song is like कभी अलविदा मत कहो दोस्तों न जाने फिर कहा मुलाकात हो न जाने फिर कहा मुलाकात हो क्योंकि बीते हुए लम्हों की कसक साथ तो होगी बीते हुए लम्हों की कसक साथ तो होगी ख्वाबों ही ख्यालों में सही मुलाकात तो होगी बीते हुए लम्हों की कसक साथ तो होगी थैंक यू सर
Amazing,
तो
sir.
दो इंडियन आइडल मिल गए आपको आज.
ओह
एक और मिल गए, एक और मिल गए.
थैंक यू निर्मल
Of
सर
course, मेरी एप्लीकेशन वहां पे पास हो जाएगी. So many singers we have in our fraternity. Shabana ma'am, because you have to go for the iftari and कुछ आप सुना दे बढ़िया सा कुछ भी जिससे हम लोग तरोताजा हो जाए मैम. Ma'am, you're on mute,
Before
ma'am.
Shabana starts, I hope Sarabpreet, you and Nirmal are also going to be singing. ये नहीं कि हम host है तो हम नहीं गाएंगे.
really I forget to say that
Shabana ma'am, please unmute yourself, please.
This is for the maths teacher. This song is for the maths teacher, sir. We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन. ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन.
Nirmal sir, you're caught up. I'm going to escape. You're caught up, sir.
How can you escape?
Can't escape, Sarabpreet.
Next time I'm not going to come to your show if you don't sing.
So I will sing a maths wala gana. Just 2 lines, but this is for maths. Dukki pe dukki ho, ya satte pe satta. Dukki pe dukki ho, या सत्ते पे सत्ता. गौर से देखा जाए कोई फर्क नहीं अलबत्ता, कोई फर्क नहीं अलबत्ता. Thank you.
Very nice.
I have to say.
So we have one contestant left who could be going for Indian Idol. Sarabpreet, your audition.
He's a very good singer, by the way. I heard him sing
Oh my
one.
God! Oh my God! आने वाला पल जाने वाला है हो सके तो इसमें जिंदगी बिता दो पल जो ये जाने वाला है हो
Very nice.
आने वाला पल जाने वाला है. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Had a nice time with you. I hope you also enjoyed. Shabana ma'am, Yashika ma'am, Nirmal sir, Atis sir, Charu ma'am, and Pooja ma'am. It was a wonderful evening talking to you, discussing with you, enjoying with you, and hope we'll meet
It
in
was a
another.
wonderful evening.
Charu ma'am, you said if you'll sing, then only I'll come in the next season, next session. I hope I passed the test, although I'm not so good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you, and we'll stay connected. I'll pass on the connections to each of you that you should stay connected. We should get connected. The fraternity, the main aim of this show is that the educationists, they should get connected with each other, and we should talk about very good topics, as well as we should know that how you people have come into this like straight away in the other shows, we are talking about the topics only. But here, we are not only talking about the topic. We are people should know that how people like you have reached up to this destination, as well as at the end, we should have a me time. We should have sweet memories when we are leaving, that we have to once again come and attend the S.S. Chandhok talk show. Thank you so much and have a nice day and good night, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Pleasure
Thank you
seeing
all.
everybody, although virtually. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.